Let's grab all of that from here. That's yeah, grab 8. Yeah, grab 8 because when I place that, it will allow me to then overlay here, and that gives me 17, apparently. I guess I was off a little bit. Oh well. These last two can die. Of course, all of the stuff is just not going to output properly in the proper direction. Let's just get rid of all of that. Going down. So I said it was 15, right? 15 solids, and then two fluids. Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. Oops. I did not mean to get rid of the ghost there. Alright. Vehicle. Give me rail. It whines at you when you close the inventory. The Dingrido whines at you when you go away from it, when you stop giving it your attention. In fact, I should actually be writing the Dingrido. What am I doing? I should be writing it to build all this. Ride that Dingrido. I didn't actually have unloaders in the Dingrido. What is this shenaniganry? Yeah, and stuff will just get destroyed. By the way, stuff gets destroyed quite easily. And then I need the 2... Oh. 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 That's how I designed that. Did I ever find a use for the caravan? No. Absolutely not. Eventually, when the fly-a-van is introduced, maybe. But I think I'm going to end up getting to the ground borer dude first. Because, by the way, they have totally introduced the concept of having a sandworm from Beetlejuice be a method of transporting stuff from one destination to another underground that is available in the late game. It is the new logistics station, and this little worm dude on legs, oddly enough, uh, just delivers things for you. It's like it's effectively teleporting stuff from one destination to another, from one spot to another. Um, that's effectively all it is. It's teleport without using a rail system at all, which will be interesting, to say the least. That will be very interesting. I am looking for a train station that has fluids. I need a standard train station that deals with fluids out, not in, or the other way around. Fluids in, not fluids out. So I need output ports and all that good stuff. Where my mall has them. I know that for certain. Hello, mall. I'll need 2 of these. That is not the correct width. So, oops. Fiber. You have what I'm looking for. No! Stupid signals in my way. There we go. Success! I'll leave the extra stuff there just for indications. Oh, I am out of chain signals. Huh. I wonder why. Also, this is a tank, in case you couldn't tell. Dingrido is a tank, which means that everything will die upon impact with it, without question. Everything dies. Like, have you ever experimented in vanilla with tank versus train? If you, like, increased the speed of the tank and ran head-on into a train and removed all potential impact damage on the tank, made it a literal immovable force, or an unstoppable force, hitting a train. Yeah, the train loses, and it will die. And this thing also does not stop very quickly either. Alright, there's the train station. Now, fortunately, multi-purpose pipes are immune to damage, so I don't have to worry about hitting my multi-purpose pipes. They're immune to impact damage. Alright, what's what? So my two fluids here, we've got the, yeah, so this is graphene, sulfuric acid, and graphene phosphoric acid. It's phosphoric acid for the etching solution, right? Yes. Good. There is something to be said about potentially having some of these things that are in this list here that are being used in this graphene factory as being produced in their own separate factories, particularly the etching solution. Yeah, that's like it. The etching solution, the silicon, the biofilm, the HCl technically, all of that could be considered for their own separate train stations because they do get used pretty ubiquitously at this phase of the game for other things, including other things involved in the Circuit 3 chain. Uh, Moss, of course, I would also consider for that substrate, I would consider for its own separate station, but we're going to just build this as is for the moment, and we'll think about potentially scaling up, actually, these various components in this build and just tack on uh, additional spots on our depot as well as train stations to load the excess stuff for this. So this may end up a combined factory, not only doing graphene, but also etching solution onto the network, and also, uh, let's see, maybe hydrogen peroxide onto the network, maybe some liquid nitrogen onto the network, silicon, biofilm, cellulose, even. Uh, Not so much the HCl. Technically, I could import some HCl that's from the phosphoric acid production chain, because I still haven't made use of that overflow. Uh, Maybe provide some methanol spare, provide the substrate, provide. I think that would be it. But we shall see. That's longer term types of things there as I get into other stuff. For now, though, power would be nice. This dog does not stop, by the way. Like, I can, if I'm hands free, I'm hands free, and it's still moving. It's not stopping. It is quite. It really wants to move. and it also very much eats all of the food. It has 500 kilowatt power consumption on the Dingrido versus 150 kilowatts on the Crawdad, which is a pretty big difference between those two. Where is the Crawdad? There it is. There's the Crawdad. So the idea was that I would use the Dingrido for moving around the longer distances of the base and use my Crawdad when doing more smaller stuff like, walking around the mall, walking the length of my bus. I think I could just stick with the Crawdad as well. And walking around out here where I need to do things like destroy the rocks, start setting up my build, all that as I'm building the build and I'm walking the length of the build. That I think will be the most ideal circumstance for that. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Huh. How did that happen? Dingrido, where's the requester stations? There you go. That's it. Does that mean I ended up with one extra? This should be... Alright, it's fine. There we go. A shame that I have to go back to pick up extra unloaders as well. Alright, this one I called sulfuric acid. And this one is the phosphoric acid. I always forget what tab these things are in. That's the one. So those will start arriving. Okay. Get that pin back up. Where the hell am I going to start this? That is a really good question. Like, what even is the beginning here? Ultimately. I don't know, and that is the key. Well, let's start with, like, just work our way up from the bottom. Like, I'm pretty sure I broke this down somewhat in a reasonable fashion, stepwise fashion, so I think it's gonna end up looking a lot like this, just from the bottom to the top. Alright, give me some extra stuffs. I need the soil extractors. I have high pressure furnaces on me. I need the microorganism mines. More microorganism mines, I guess. The compost plants. Moss farms. There's the moss with the Mark IIs. Those guys. That requires cellulose. Where's the cellulose? That's the pulp mills. Am I carrying the pulp mills? Where's the pulp mills? There they are. For the cellulose. And I think I'll keep that nifty for now. This is going to require some coke. This is going to be graphene. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste, like, all the way down. think I missed a couple along the way. There we go. That should be it. Alright. And that just makes it easier for me to type in the new stuff. So graphene, coke, coal. Just because I prefer keeping coke and coal together. That was an extra space. Coke, coal, Petri. Yes, Immortal has returned for the end. I have built a train station for graphene. Yeah, that's it. I have built my graphene train station. Coke. I'm currently configuring my train station as I begin the build. The build has just begun. The build will also continue off screen. Just so we're clear about this, I want to keep progression flowing. So since we've now seen this, do I do all of this on screen or do I do some of it off screen? I don't even know what I would even do off screen at this point. I've done so much stuff that now it's just all progression. All that's left now for me to do really is progression. There's not too much like true scaling of stuff that's left. I can try to figure out stuff to scale, but ugh. I don't think the crude biomass has changed at all. It has not changed. If anything, it's made better by the fact that we can get up to 500 units of crude oil per mining drill. Graphene, Petri dishes. Petri. How far down are those? There. Good thing I have those on my network. Why did I get rid of the pin? Why am I constantly getting rid of the pins? And then the cellulose is going to require the raw fiber and sodium hydroxide. Auto-saving! Raw fiber. And sodium hydroxide. So let's see. Raw fiber. I forget what tab the raw fiber is actually under. It is under high tech. Wow. What a guess. And then sodium hydroxide is I think actually under raw ores. Yes. Sodium hydroxide is under raw ores. Okay, that's good for this moment in time. That gets those things all brought in-ish. Now, apparently Immortal needs a hammer emote and a emote for buffs. Yeah, I suppose. As it turns out, by the way, I got an email from Twitch, like last week or something along those lines, saying that I am now eligible to have my emotes immediately approved upon upload, so I no longer have to wait for any approval process for emotes going forward. They have extended that to folks who are affiliates in good standing without any, like, violations of guidelines and stuff, so yay. That's always nice to see. We no longer have to wait for them. I mean, it wasn't that big of a wait anyway. The longest wait was for the very first emote. That did take several days to get approved, but after that, the approval had always been quite quick. to happen. I didn't particularly worry about any of that anyway. But hey, now I can do the thing. Not like I really have that many more emotes to put up for approval. Like, it's still going to be a while before I even unlock a general sub-emote at this point. And no one has given the, whatever it is, 1,000 bits to even unlock the first of the permanent emote unlocks, which is the Faugi. So, by the way, there's a Faugi emote if you have ever cheered a grand total of 1,000 bits on this channel, which is like the equivalent of $10. That is a permanent emote unlock as a reward for the total amount cheered ever. There is also a high-tech construction bot and a high-tech logistic bot for further rewards for those. Those all exist as emotes that are permanent unlocks. Haha, yeah. So, when you're actually playing Pysuite, as it turns out, you need so much water. There's a reason why I use the water wells mod. There's a good reason why. If you actually play the Pysuite for any extended period of time, you will know how much water is really needed. And it is obscene how much water is needed for stuff. Thus, the water wells. Now, I will note that, yes, the Pysuite does have its own method of getting infinite water. Do not get hit by a train, please. The Pysuite does have its own way of getting infinite water through different oil derricks, through pump jacks. The Pi pump jacks have a water recipe, but I mean, you have to like build the pump jacks first, which, you know, Pi building costs. It's a little much, but that is a thing that exists. I just prefer water wells. I prefer water wells. There are even cheater ways of doing it, like water fill, like actual vanilla pump jacks that are actually smaller than this. So there are smaller versions of this. There are methods of just being able to place water anywhere. Various different types of balancing of mechanics behind it. Yeah, it's lots of options. I just prefer water wells. I like the balance of the amount of space that the well requires, in particular. So next is the actual lime. We've done one check mark, and it is time to end. But I will, of course, set up the lime at the very least here. We'll set up the lime, and we'll probably set up the incubated petri dish, and I don't know, maybe the cellulose for the doohickey. I don't know. Well, we'll do this. I only need 2. Making what was it? Lime? Limon? Making the lime. Beautiful, glorious lime. I usually just vent this. I usually vent it, and then it changes the numbers in here because I vent it, but anyway. Stuff and things. How much per? Also use those, please. Ooh, God. Wow. Okay. One of those is not going to move 3. I will have to combine. Is Coke used anywhere else? I don't think so, no. Coke is not used anywhere else, so Coke will just come in and be like, hey, I'm here. do that thing, and coke will come in that way. Oh, that is where the coke shall be from. Let's try not getting hit by the train. That sounds like a great idea. Of course I'm going to use the undergrounds. Like, why? I'm always going to use the undergrounds, even if I put the actual belt down. It's just to give me a guide for where I put the undergrounds. In the end, if I remember to do so. Alright, here's the coke. I even left a spot if I do need to put a splitter here. Yay! And then, of course, I need to actually, you know, output the stuff as well. So that... Oh, 3.6. Is that going to be enough? Oh, I only need 4.17. So, yeah, it's fine. Alright, I think that's going to be where we end it for the day today. What I think I'll do off-screen is, well, I'm going to go back to the mall, and I'm going to come back and have this stuff placed down. So at the very least, going into our next stream, we're going to have that placed. Now, question. Work on this off-screen or show all of it together next time? Doing all of this stuff. I do want to sort of show this stuff, because this is new. Up here, this stuff is new. The chloromethane and up is all new stuff, but all of this other stuff down here is stuff that I've already done. So you know what I will do is I will go all the way up and build it until I hit the chloromethane here. So I'll build everything below chloromethane because we've seen all of that stuff already. I think that's a good compromise, right? And then on screen together, when we come back next time, it will be doing the chloromethane into dichloromethylsilane into nickel cores and PDMS and the graphene base, the sheets, and then the rolls. Get that onto the network and go from there. If I also have additional time off screen, and considering that today is a Thursday and there's an extra day going into the Sunday stream, it would be scaling of stuff with similar methods to what I'm using. So I may end up scaling my production of bone meal through a cub-based recipe, through a cub-based Ulrich recipe, which, I mean, we've seen the general principle behind cub-based recipes already. Like, we know the general principle there now, after seeing it the once, just being applied to a different creature at this point with separate build. Maybe also scaling the manure, upgrading this to Mark II. This would be more of a just straight-up upgrade of my manure production, because right now it's only scaling to 15 per second, and I need significantly more than 15 per second going forward. And I have access to the Mark II Muckmo pastures now, so I may as well go ahead and do that. And I might actually change the recipe I'm doing here. I'm uncertain. It depends. But anyway, with that, folks, as I go out onto the gloriousness of the big map of the base. Whew, boy. Yeah. What did we get done today? We got the Dingrido. Dingrido exists now. We got it. We made the calmodulin binding mutant peptide for it. Talked a lot about stuff I did off screen. Started making a whole bunch of ocula that apparently don't work right / result in crash. And then went over, built this train station for the graphene build, planned out, and started executing on the graphene build. Yeah, that's what we did. That is what we did today. So with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you're watching the VODs on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links below the video, including supporting Pyandon's mods development at patreon.com/Pyandon, and myself at patreon.com/Otaku Showboat. I will, of course, be back on Sunday, where we will ideally wrap up the final steps of this graphene build and begin to move on to Alien Sample 3's / Great Alien Samples and the setup for that, followed then by ideally some Circuit 3's, which, I mean, that's going to also require like a whole build of the Cobalt processing chain, I think. But yeah, we'll begin work towards Circuit 3's directly at that point. I hope to see you all then.